Signature Lord, and here's a psychic Johnny Boy.
Finally, a redemption arc worth telling. Folks, welcome to the Concord Experience. I am the digital mouth of the Esports South, the Sigtal Lord, Justin Smith, joined as always by my fantastic co-host, John Rose, a.k.a. Johnny Boy. And we have the displeasure today of bringing to you the big man himself, the boss, king of the castle, Concord Esports' own program director.
Yay.
Austin Clay, a.k.a. Time Splitter 56.
The one that signs our paychecks.
The cameras were off, but you missed a good 5-minute discussion about the merits of sweet tea.
He also hates casserole.
But see, casserole is just bad, and then
Oh
sweet
my
tea.
gosh.
No, you just have normal tea. Normal tea is better. It's just better.
Hold your kids close.
Yankee's much better.
Love your family tonight. You never know the evils that are near you. You never know the darkness you're going to face. Well, folks, anytime we have Austin with us, it's time for a roundup. We're entering into the postseason. When this podcast goes live, we are now in postseason.
The off break, the only off week we get during the playoffs.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so it is do or die time.
Mm-hmm. The second round of ECAC and the first round will be going into the first round
of NECC.
Of ECAC.
There, that's what I meant. Yeah,
it's been a difficult uphill fight. We have had an incredibly new semester in terms of energy and vibes, where we launched our arena, we've held in-person events, we've been open more nights than we've been closed in terms of holding live esports. It has been a wild ride, and our players have been navigating this difficult path the best they can, and we're really proud of all their performances. Thank you to the Concord Esports players for all your hard work and making sure that we're able to talk today about some of your successes, some of your difficulties, with our post-season, regular season roundup.
They're the true GOATs.
They are. They truly are. No matter what, you're champions in my heart. And that's not a joke. That's 100% sincerity. Let's start with Rocket League. First, NECC. Austin, catch us up on your team.
So Rocket League, obviously, I'm sure it's always going to be fun. That means we should talk about that. But Rocket League, seriousness, NECC, Rocket League, Varsity, Maroon, they finished 5-1. They only lost their first game of the season. They closed it out 5-1. Right now, they haven't played the last game yet for ECAC for Maroon, which we played
Be Wednesday.
The 19th, this Friday.
Yeah.
Well, not Wednesday, so it's Wednesday. So that's the 15th. November 15th, we will figure out who will be the undefeated team in ECAC between us and Bruton Parker. In our division, we will know who's the undefeated team after Wednesday there, kind of thing. So we're playing that for seeding. But they have made playoffs. We're just figuring out first seeding, and we obviously want to win that against Bruton Parker so we have the better seeding for playoffs for ECAC. For Black, Concord Esports Black, they made NECC, they made it by the skin of their teeth. They made it by one map count. They tied the team below them at 3-3, and with that, they were able to squeeze just in to get a fourth seed to make it into playoffs with a 3-3 record. And because of map wins, they won one more map than the other team below them, allowing them to slide into ECAC into NECC playoffs. For their ECAC, they have to win as well on Wednesday. They have to win Wednesday to make it. So we don't know on them until Wednesday the 15th if they make it or not. So that's going to be a really interesting game to see if they make it. Even if they win Wednesday, they also have to do a tiebreaker map count and all this. So Black has Academy roster has a lot of scenarios to make it into playoffs where a lot of it doesn't rely on us. All it relies on us is to win the game, and then it relies on other teams and map count and stuff. So we really won't know until then. But otherwise, they did really good this season. Having both teams make playoffs for NECC is really a good accomplishment, as that's the league that we focus in more on. So I'm excited to see how that goes there for them. We are the number one seed. Like I said, the number one seed in NECC, so that'll be fun there. We closed out last week with a tough game. No, it's not even a tough game. Sorry, I lied. It was supposed to be, but we 3-0'd Cumberland easily in that match last week. It was supposed to be a close game. Our guys came out firing all games, and I was told that was Will's best game ever, and we won that there because of that there. So good game there. Basically, that's the quick update there. They also did the Kentucky thing as well, so they did well there, and they did another LAN tournament in North Carolina at
where they
got third there as well.
Yeah, third.
So they have that. Our Rocket League team had a really good season overall.
Yeah, we're really pleased with them, and you never want to be in a playoff scenario where you don't have control over your own destiny. So I really hope the best for them, for the Black Squad, and I'm excited to see exactly how that plays out.
It's never fun when you have to do that, where you win and now you have to wait anxiously until. And the worst part is half these games aren't streamed by any school, so we have to wait anxiously with no news, no data until like the day after the match has been played to know what happened. At least with like football and stuff like that, like you can watch the game to know what's going to happen. With esports right now, sometimes they don't. Some schools don't stream it, so we have no clue what's happening.
Well, let's talk about Madden now.
Madden, for Madden, two of our players, one currently 4-3. Jaden Cruz is 4-3, while Jay Mitchell is 3-4. Our other player had a withdrawal from the semester, from the season, but the two other players are doing really well. Both of them look like they're about to make playoffs here. The 4-3 player, he has made playoffs. If he wins, he makes playoffs either way. But winning Thursday will make him has a better seed in guaranteed playoffs. But he should win either way. Even if he just needs to win one game Thursday to guarantee playoffs, he doesn't have to win the set. He just has to win one of the best of three there. And then Jaden Mitchell needs to win the game on Thursday in a 3-0 fashion to have a shot of making playoffs. He has to win it in a 3-0 fashion, and that will give him an opportunity to make playoffs. Once again, he's in a tiebreaker situation based on map count to see if he make playoffs or not.
Well, I know I was here the other night, and I got to chill with us, and we watched them play for a little bit. It was very exciting stuff, so we're really thankful for their hard work.
And all you got to do is run an IPO, and then you win. That's what I was told to do. You just hit that one button that says IPO, and you run it, and then you're going to score a touchdown.
If you play for an opposing team, that is 100% our strategy. That's all we're going to do every time.
That's what we're going to do.
Every time. Mark my words. EAFC, formerly known as FIFA.
For FIFA or EFC, we have Sean, his senior year. He's already has secured playoffs. Also his senior year, Valentin, our captain, has secured playoffs as well. Enzo has to win his game to make playoffs. So that's where Enzo is currently. Enzo he needs to win tonight to make playoffs because he's 3-3. If he goes 4-3, he makes playoffs. If he loses, he doesn't make playoffs. So he doesn't have to worry about anyone else. He just has to win tonight. That's all his job is to do. The other two guys have made playoffs already. So that's pretty much it there. They've been really good with Sean. I think has only lost 2 games. So I'm so far. So that means he's 4-2. So if he wins one more, he will be at 5-2 on the regular season, which will be really good, which means he should be in the top 8 for seeding.
That is so good. That's so good. It's fantastic. Those players are so dedicated because all of them play. This is a second sport for them.
Yeah.
I mean, it's not a second sport. Both of them are soccer. Football. Both of them are the same sport, just over different mediums. So it's really crazy the amount of energy they put in. Next up, we have Overwatch. Overwatch, we had the benefit of having both the captain of Overwatch, Gray, on the podcast with us, and we had the talisman himself, Jad Mahfouz. It has been fantastic. They made it undefeated through the regular season. A lot of that's because this guy and some of the support that they got from the rest of the staff and the Maroon Squad. So we already covered them. Very well done. Now, what about with our Maroon Squad?
Overwatch Maroon sadly didn't make playoffs this year, but they were super close. They had to win one of their last 2 games, and they lost both of them sadly. But both of those last 2 games were close. All games this season, even though they went 2-4 this season, every game they played, our Maroon team took a game off of the other team. Even some of the top teams, like Central, who went undefeated in our division, they went 6-0 and like dominated every team. We were one of the few teams. I think us and one other team actually took a map count off of them. Like we actually took a map off of them, which most other teams didn't even take a map off them. So I'm very proud of our Maroon team, even if it was a rough season overall. We were very close. We had some new key rock players coming in. We had 3 new players on the roster. We only had 2 returning players in Emily and in the letter M, and then business. So 3 new players coming into the roster. Definitely caused some issues there with not having that perfect team coordination that our Overwatch team last year had because they've been playing together for 3 years now. So this roster is new, so they're not used to that same coordination. But by the end of the season, we're firing all singles. I was very happy with how they performed. Next season, I think we'll be much better, and we'll be able to win. The team was way more better. We're way happy. We're happy with their performance, and they feel that they'll have better teamwork starting next season. And with new characters coming out like manga, some of the changes to Overwatch as a whole in the meta will help our team play their strategy that they play a lot more. So it's exciting to see. We also halfway through the season we swapped Ship, who used to be a DPS player, back to tank, is what we signed him on, and then Business swapped off of tank to DPS because Ship has the better Sigma, so that causes some issues as well as we were swapping some losses around, making some changes that in the long run will benefit us, but in the short term would cause some issues because the team weren't used to playing with a different tank style.
I know no matter what, these players worked really hard, and I am so excited for the spring to see, now that they have some systems in place, now that they have a better understanding of their strengths and weaknesses, exactly how they perform. So it should be a very strong semester for them. League of Legends. With both rosters, the Maroon squad performed exceptionally well in their placements, but struggled during the main season. I'm excited to see where they go from here. They did not make playoffs. The Gray squad did have some really high points, but they also did not make playoffs. I think with some of the changes they've made going into the spring, some roster shakeup, it's going to be a much stronger season for them. So keep an eye on that.
But Goonstomp, he was the player of the month for October. He got by NECC. He won the nomination for the player of the month for League of Legends. So Goonstomp, our captain of the JV roster, did a fantastic job. So I'm very excited for him. It proves that age does not matter in esports. As long as you have the skills, you can perform at the top level and you know the game very well, you can perform very well. So I'm happy for Goon, and I'm excited to see what happens as we shake up. Like Justin said, we're shaking up the rosters. I'm excited to see how all the rosters land. Don't know anyone going yet, but once we do, I'll be excited to see what the new roster looks like.
Very well deserved. He's fantastic.
Yeah, he's really been a rock for both teams, and really a benefit to the whole that whole game division. Moving on, we've got Smash Brothers, which we just came off of Campus Clash.
Yep.
We had some really strong performances from players on both the Maroon and the Gray squads. Our graduate assistant, Austin, and myself, we went to Campus Clash. Just a shout out to the WV Smash community. You guys made us feel at home. Thank you so much. That was such a good event.
And Croc, he did an amazing job. The head TO. He was basically running it by himself, running ultimate and melee, doubles and singles, more or less by himself. He did a fantastic job running that tournament.
Seamless. And big shout out to Crimson Arrow for his assist in that. I think they said he graduated, so I'm glad we got to meet. We are excited to go to their events in the future, and I really hope that we're able to get something here on the Concord campus with this wonderful community.
Absolutely.
We didn't walk away with any major wins, but we did have some strong performances at Campus Clash. What about regular season? Let's talk about that.
So regular season for Smash, we'll start with the Gray Squad first. The Gray Squad was a young roster. On there, we had only two returning players, and the rest were all new players coming in.
Yep.
So we had two returning players. It was really good there. Overall, they learned a lot. Our freshman players that we had brought in learned and improved, so did really well there. Overall, with Cadence on King Garul there, so we had some new blood coming in to help grow. Really good, talented team. Sadly, they didn't win any single game. Part of the reason was what we believe, at least, is one of the reasons was they had the hardest side of the division, of the Southeast A and B division. The Gray Squad got placed in the A division, and A division had the stronger teams. Yep. So our Gray team played against the stronger rosters overall. Like one of the rosters, Winthrop, had 3 pro players on their roster. They have Liam, Lima, No Tag, and Peanut Butt. 3 talented players. And then a couple other squads there also had some really good players there. So that struggled there, but they performed well. So those games were still close overall. So it wasn't like we got blown out in those scores, but those games were close, always down to the wire. Usually we would lose with like 3 to 4 stocks. The other team would win with 3 to 4 stocks left. So you can't complain that much. That means we took 3 out of the. We usually took 3 characters out, which is really good in Smash to be able to take 3 characters on take 9 stocks against teams that are that good. So we can't complain that much overall. So I'm excited how they did. Now on the other hand, our Maroon squad, they went undefeated.
Yeah.
They went 6-0 and did insanely well throughout the regular season. So they're the number 1 seed. Going into playoffs on the I side. The other number 1 seed is Winthrop. Yeah. So look up right now, it's gonna be Winthrop versus us in finals is what it's looking like. We do have to get through some other tough opponents. We have to get through Niners Esports, and then on our side we have to get through there's another team on our side that's 5-1 that we also have to get through. So they only lost to us, and we still won it, and it wasn't that close, but still they're 5-1.
It was a team before UC Bulldogs. I can't remember who.
I can't remember off the top of my head right now, but so we have some tough opponents, but the definitely 2 tough ones is Winthrop and Niners to make it. But I'm excited. We had Owen's senior year. We have Vincent, a freshman, who did insanely well. He took in his last game of the season,
that was
the regular
insane.
season, he took 22 stocks officially. I have to say officially because he also did take 3 stocks off another player, but there was an issue with the map, so we had to restart. Mm-hmm. So technically it took 25 stocks, but I didn't count. So 22 was his official count of what he got.
Was at 2 stocks away from him himself beating a team 2 rounds by himself.
Yeah, it was a madhouse that night in the arena.
The first game he took 12 stocks off by himself, not losing a single stock, so he got a perfect. Yeah. Getting 12 stocks without losing a single stock is insanely hard to do. Doesn't matter how good the other team or how bad the other team is. Getting a perfect 12 stock means that Vincent did not make a single mistake or leave a single opportunity where the other team could do a finishing move to guarantee that stock removal. So that means Vincent on that duck hunt did really well there as a freshman. We have Owen as our captain. Tyrell, who's also a senior, did really well this season. So we have really good seniors with some really good fresh blood coming in with Vincent. We also have Xander, who's also pretty young, and then we also have another freshman of Jay the Knight when he played in one game and got 9 stocks himself in one game.
Piranha Plant, that's crazy.
And Piranha Plant, which is usually not top tier player.
So good.
So we have a strong roster and a strong roster for multiple years with that Maroon roster. So I'm excited to see how they do.
Oh yeah, it's only uphill. It's only up from here for all of Smash. Seeing their growth of the semester has been fantastic.
It's been awesome.
Up next, Street Fighter.
So my boy Jan,
The GOAT.
This is our first year in Street Fighter, so we really didn't know what to think, and we found a local walk-on, Nathan, and he went from Diamond just in a couple weeks to Masters because of the systems we put in place. But
Masters is the highest rank in the game.
And that was by his own skill. All I said was just play some ranked. Let's look at these, and we added some more character development or game development, and we expanded his character pool from Cammy to JP now, which 2 entirely different characters.
And they're both Masters.
And they're both at Masters. So if you find a way to take out one of his characters, he can quickly change the game and can play a completely different style with JP. So that was the reason why we did that. So we,
You didn't want to hear ding in the background?
Yeah.
Ding. Leave this in.
Hey, what's going on, Colton? Good, how about you?
Cody. Just leave this in.
I'd like to welcome Colton to the podcast.
But yeah, so Jan is currently sitting at 6-1. We played the number 1. Before this, there was 2 undefeated players, him and Stingray. They were both 5-0 or 6-0 going into it, and it was close. I think it was the furthest he's been pushed. We took him to round 3 and 2 of those 3-0s that we ended up losing 3-0, but we took him to game round 3 and 2 of those 2-0s. So it's just like we're like right there. There's a real chance that we can win this whole thing if we just fix a little mistakes. And once we looked back at the VOD, we saw what we were messing up on, and I think Jan's also a freshman.
Yeah.
So that's one thing to touch on. Talking about fresh blood. We have 4 years of excellence coming here at Concord, and he's one of those excellent students.
So talented, and he's got the right mentality.
He does.
You can't teach that.
No.
Call of Duty.
So with both rosters, Gray started off a little shaky. They went down 0-4, but as of last week, they've won 3 in a row. So they're 3-4. So if they win this week, there's a chance for a playoff run.
Yeah, I think it's a tiebreaker, right?
Yeah. So the only thing that might get them is their map count record, because if they have one, it's went to the distance, and some maps were forfeits. So some of them won't count. So we're looking at the map counts if we win on Friday this week. We'll have to look at it. But for the Maroon roster, they are currently sitting at the 13th seed with a 4-3 record. The top 16 go. So there's a chance if they win this week against Newberry, they win. So I guess technically speaking, this airs next week. So
if they have won
Friday of last week, if they win that match against Newberry, they guarantee playoffs. If they lose it, then it goes to a map count tiebreaker, which
all games were close, sadly.
There's a lot of 4-4 teams, but looking at some of the brackets, the 2 teams that are below us that could tie us are teams that we beat in the regular season.
So we would win over them.
Yeah. So we're hoping for playoffs, but to save my nerves, I just told the guys let's just go out and win on Friday.
Yeah, I really think they have the capability. They got strong mental.
Absolutely.
We've got talented players and the right systems in place for them.
And that with Randy being a freshman on the Maroon roster, Nico's a senior, Eski's a master, so it's his first year as a masters, and Mikey's a senior. So I want these guys the 2 that's been here the longest, I want them to go out with excellence and accomplishment that they started with.
You haven't noticed throughout all of our rosters, we're basically at the year of the transition year. Mm-hmm. We either have seniors or freshmen. The in between is very limited there. Yep. We are very much so in the last year from when we got kids from 2020 kind of thing. So we're in the transition year from going from our freshmen. From our seniors to freshmen, the new guard. Basically, we're finally transitioning out of the old guard that started the program fully now to the new guard of the esports program here at Concord. Yep. So this is that transition year where we're going to see rosters are half made of seniors, half made of young recruits, which might be some reason why some of our games have been much more closer, because it's young players playing with these veterans. We're trying to mesh these teams together and meld them to get them the right cooperation together.
And probably the best way to talk about that is our final game to talk about, Fortnite. This was our first year in Fortnite.
Yep.
John picked up the game coaching, and we've mishmashed a roster together of some of the best players from other games, as well as some new blood, to really make an incredible roster. John, tell us a little bit about that.
So we came into Fortnite with 2 rosters. Both rosters having a freshman on each one. Unfortunately, Maroon roster had to drop for unseen issues or unplanned issues. Mm-hmm. But the Gray team, which consists of a senior in Cap and a freshman in Jackson, Cap just learned Fortnite a month, right before the season started, a month before the season, so we could add him. But Jackson was unreal. That was his game before COD. We didn't have Fortnite, but he wanted to do COD. He wanted to be part of the program, so he played COD. He started loving competitive COD. But once we had Fortnite and he saw that he could do it competitively in collegiate, he asked he wanted to switch. And ever since then, it's been awesome. They're currently sitting in that 12th seed, and they're looking to, as of this week, they're looking to be, based on averages, they're looking to be in the top 10 as their first year competing.
That's so fantastic.
And I believe the top half of the 62 teams go. So they're guaranteed playoffs no matter what.
So good. Well, folks, that's all the games that we play, but as a department in whole, this is my first semester on the administrative side, and I have to tell you, it has been so refreshing, really living the dream with seeing how the existing management that we have, how our players have rallied. This has just been fantastic. We call it the Concord experience, but I cannot stress enough, you can't experience it until you get into the system, until you start seeing it, and start feeling live esports. It really is completely different live.
Yeah.
Watching something in person versus remote is completely different, and we pitch that week in and week out. Yeah. But our players adapting to it, having to go from just playing with a group of friends in a single little room, and the opponent might as well be imaginary, to actual stakes with pride on the line. playing in front of friends, family, potentially opponents, as it has been multiple times this season.
And an unknown environment for some of these kids. So, like, our veterans who've been playing downstairs for 3 years, 3 to 4 years ago, wait, I have to play upstairs now, move my whole setup, and move my whole comfort. Gamers are superstitious. Everything has to be perfectly distanced and all that. So I got a new station, new environment. I have to hear people cheering my name and all that. So they get that nerves. Something also they had to fight over, and I played it very well fighting over those and coming over those nerves as well. So I'm excited to see that they did that well.
It's been so good. So to our players that watch this podcast, just thank you so much.
One thing I want to touch on too that we didn't mention was the production team.
Oh man,
that consists of Wiley and Kemper, another freshman and junior duo that set up all of the PCs for us every stream. So if you see a setup upstairs, it was set up by them and torn down by them. And also Cody Fry. None of this would be possible without Cody.
Including this podcast.
He's behind the camera right now.
He is a freshman pickup that we met at a local gaming convention, BGX, which we were happy to sponsor. And we found him, and with just a couple weeks of training with the stream equipment and everything.
And I didn't want to go to BGX. Those two convinced me to do it.
With just a couple weeks of training, the stream would not run without Cody. So all the graphics you see is me, but everything is ran by Cody. So none of the podcast would be filmed, none of the stream would be produced without Cody. So thank you to the production team and Bryson for making all the music, JoJo and Ethan for casting. A lot of the behind the scenes talent that we have here on the production team, none of the social media visibility and content visibility would be possible without that production team.
And Gabriel and concessions. My man holding down tickets and making sure that your thirst is quenched and your snacks are provided. So please, Gabriel, you've been a fantastic pickup. Last plugs. Anything you want to talk about, Austin?
The last thing I want to say is we're going to hopefully. I'm expecting to get a ring this year, this season. I expect that either a Smash team or a Street Fighter team are most closest runner-ups that are going to get it. I also believe that our Rocket League guys have a good chance as well. But right now, I say our two lead front runners are either a Smash team or our Street Fighter team. And I think one of those will definitely get us rings, and Rocket League is super close there, as well getting us a ring this year. So I'm excited to see if we can get a ring, a championship title. Overwatch, you can't forget about Overwatch Grey. You can throw them in there as well.
Yeah.
Fortnite might have an opportunity as well. So all of our teams that make playoffs all do have a really good chance of getting us a ring. Yeah. They all do. So I'm excited to see if we're able to get a ring this season. I'm excited to be able to say, finally, underneath my leadership here, we're able to get championship titles since when I first showed up. In 2020, we got some championships, but since then, we haven't been able to get any championships for a couple of years here. So I'm hoping underneath my leadership, we'll be able to finally go back to where we used to be when we started with rings.
We got to hold Justin accountable for his first ascend.
You gotta give me more than one semester.
Well, you said
I didn't put no time frame on it.
That's true. You did say we are going to get a ring.
I did not put a time frame on it, but I'm standing by.
For me, just check out the socials and the doodly-doo down below. Make my job and life easier by following us, watching our content. It would make me and Cody and Taylor and all the production staff here.
Share it with your friends.
Share it with your family, friends, co-workers, anything.
You can click this button right here that Cody's going to animate for me that says subscribe right here that you can click. I swear he's going to do it.
Explosion.
I want to make sure for folks that are watching this right now, the following week will be playoffs live here at Concord Esports Arena.
Yep.
It would mean the world to our players if you were to show up and cheer for them.
Absolutely.
So if you're watching this and you're a player, share the podcast. Let people know about the hard work that you've done. And let's get butts in seats so that we can end this season on the biggest attendance with the best crowds, make it a real party and show them what Bring the Passion truly means. So please, share that about. Make sure you check out the Christmas sweater. Yes. Don't miss out. That is a special event, folks, and we want to do more like that. You're gonna be regretful if you miss out on this. Make sure you check out our live streams. Check out the doodly doos down below. If there's nothing else to plug,
the green one's the best.
I agree.
The green one is certainly one of the sweaters of all time.
He wants the maroon. The green one's the best.
The green one's the best. My favorite one's the white one, but I would ruin it in like the second.
You can't eat in it.
No, I would say I'd ruin it.
You can't eat it.
I'd ruin it the second I put it on.
I mean, you could eat marshmallows with it.
But you're just wrong. The green's the best.
Mashed potato.
Oh, also, if you eat sweet potatoes in general, that's nasty. But if you put marshmallows on sweet potatoes too, that just makes it worse.
Ooh. Folks, I hope you're gonna not regret those words.
Gravy does not go on mashed potatoes.
We have a whole discussion coming up with
sweet
this.
tea. You don't put sugar in tea. That's
Folks, I'm Justin Smith. This is about these.
They gotta have a good Thanksgiving.
I'm not done. I'm not done.
You gotta take over the hosting. He's not hosting
This is
anymore.
my job. You're in my kingdom.
I thought you were going straight into the bye.
Folks, have a good day. Have a good Thanksgiving. We're the busiest department on campus in esports. Concord Esports #1. Thank you. We love you. Have a great day.
Happy Thanksgiving.
Bye-bye.